Hey everyone, how's it going? My name is Jordan. Welcome back to a brand new video. Today we're talking animals, and I'm going to go through all of the foster animals I used to have because I had a lot. Before we start, is there a certain career that you had when you were a kid that you can't believe you had? For me, it was being a vet, and that's kind of why I had all these animals. So to start it off, I used to work at a pet store. I kind of started a fostering program. I convinced my bosses to let me take some reptiles and start fostering them. And instead of taking up room in the store, I was like, hey, it'll work better if I just do it at my house. I can take the time to do it. Let's actually get into the animals that I had. The first animal that I ever fostered was a bearded dragon, and his name was Spike. And I had him for a few months, got him back to health, got him eating. That kind of set it off. So I worked in the reptile department when I was at the pet store. So all the animals that I started out with were reptiles. So I had some lizards, I had snakes, geckos, basically any kind of reptile that we had that wasn't eating or that needed a little bit of medication, I would take care of. Another one that was really big was this ball python, and his name was Cricket, and he got caught in a cricket trap, so lots of his skin was ripped off. And this was my longest time taking care of one animal. I think I had him for almost a year, and I'd have to inject him with medication and apply ointment to his scar, and that took a long time, and eventually he was able to start eating better, and it started healing up. Now I will say, fostering and everything sounds really great, and it really is, but it can also be very sad. And the reason that it's sad is because sometimes you take care of these animals that die. Simply put, they won't survive. So I had a couple of them that did die, and the saddest one I think was this little corn snake I had. His name was Shadow, and he was just never eating. He was like a baby, like literally like this big, and I couldn't get him to eat. And one day I got back from school, and he was just upside down with his tongue out, and I just knew that he was dead. So that was really sad. Another one that I had as well was another snake, another ball python. It was really pretty. Really nice looking snake, and same problem. He's just a baby, didn't want to eat, and I couldn't get him to eat. I tried all the tricks in the book and it didn't work. And again, one day I came downstairs and he was also flipped over, and it's really sad when that happens because it's just not natural, like seeing it. You know, they're supposed to be like on their bellies, so when you see them on their backs and there's no life to them, it's quite a sad thing. Those are the only two deaths I think I had. Both of them were snakes. Luckily, all the other ones survived. Now that was just reptiles, but I also had more than that. So at one point, I also took care of a few bunnies. That was very interesting. I learned that bunnies are actually disgusting, and I do not like them. They're very messy. Not my favorite. Very cute though. I also had a bird, and this was also one of my longest foster animals. The bird's name is Cookie, and she was a cockatiel, and I had her for quite a few months, and she was really sweet. You know, if anybody out there has birds, they have a lot of personality, and you know, she was a sweet bird. And the other bird that I had actually, which was even crazier, was an eclectus, and this guy was nuts. His name was Dexter, and he was a big parrot, and he was kind of crazy and was like scared of people, but I just took care of him for a bit because he was in a huge cage and they didn't have the resources over at the pet store to take care of him, so I was helping him eat, doing all that, and basically just socializing with him, and eventually got adopted out by one of our managers actually, so that was kind of nice. And at one point I also had a couple of hedgehogs, some babies, which was really cool. One of them was an albino. I think her name was Roxy, and she was really cute, so I really enjoyed doing that. Yeah, and I think that was about it. Bunnies, birds, hedgehogs. I don't think I had hamsters or anything like that, and I also wasn't allowed to have cats, dogs, oh, and also ferrets, because they're kind of gross. So yeah, that was kind of a little sneak peek at all the animals that I fostered. Again, if you're curious about any of them, a lot of my old YouTube videos are about animals and all these animals and specifics that I'm talking about, so you can go back and watch those if you'd like. And then at one point, I actually didn't have any of my own pets. I did have two corn snakes, and I adopted them to a friend because I was going to work in the mountains for a little bit, so I didn't want to I couldn't bring them with me, and I didn't want to leave them here for somebody else to take care of, so they found a loving home, and I was left with nothing for a little bit. I mean, of course, my dog Angie, she's always been around.
I'm a bad bitch, you can't kill me!
And also, my crested gecko, which I got not too long ago, which I don't think you guys have actually seen before, and her name is Biggie, and she's very sweet, and she sits right beside my desk, and she's a very lovely little gecko. So right now I have my gecko Biggie and Angie. I don't have fish, don't have any of that anymore. Alright, thanks for watching everybody. Hope you guys enjoyed looking back at some of the animals that I fostered. And let me know if you guys have ever had any of those kind of animals, because it's kind of cool to hear those stories as well. And animals are great. They're awesome. Alright, I'll see you guys next week. Bye.